What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's Ars. Let's get productive. So, the plugin I want to talk about today is Karanyi Sound's very first effects plugin. Now, I've reviewed some of their VSTs on this channel before, like Abstract Mallets and Minipole, but they are super well known for their synth plugins, and I use a lot of their other VSTs all the time, so I was super excited to hear that they would be releasing their very first effects plugin. The name of this brand new effects plugin is Polyspace. Now, Polyspace is a modern ambient sound and reverb plugin that really transforms your audio and takes it out of this world with spacious and cloud-like sounds. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Karanyi Sounds, Polyspace. Let's see what this thing is all about. So, as always, I have Logic queued up in This is Polyspace. Now, right off the bat, you're gonna notice the similar design aesthetic that Karanyi Sounds loves to go with their plugins. They have a really great UI design department, so I really love how this thing looks. Now, Polyspace is a reverb that's built to really help you achieve a dreamlike sound. Karanyi Sounds in general became well known for their soundscape creator that shared a similar name, Polyscape. So they took all of the best things about that effects side of the plugin and remastered it into one beautiful plugin with a much higher audio processing quality. This new reverb effect comes with 50 carefully designed space sound combinations, sampled from famous vintage hardware and algorithmic reverbs, and it also comes with over 30 presets to get your creativity flowing. So if we look at this thing a little bit closer, you're gonna see that this UI design, besides the fact that it's really clean looking, really bright and vibrant, you're gonna notice that there's not a lot of settings going on here. And they did a really good job at doing enough under the hood so that you don't have to drive yourself crazy with a whole bunch of effects. You can really just take this magnitude knob here and this longitude knob here and just dial in the already pre-made presets, or go through all of the different types of reverbs they have loaded up in this thing and just tweak it just a little bit to get it to sound exactly the way you like. Up top here, you have your input knob and your output knob, and that's pretty straightforward. At the very top here where it says default, if you click on that, you have all your presets. So you can just go through all of the different presets and get a different sound out of all of the different presets, like this right here. And you can just go to another one and click on that. Now, if you look on the left side of the presets box, you're gonna see these two circles here. The circle on the top takes you backwards through the presets, and the circle on the bottom takes you forward through the presets. So those are kind of like your forward and backwards arrows. They just designed it as circles to give it a different aesthetic and make it look really cool. Over here on the right side, you have this little disc right here, this little floppy disk. That is how you're gonna save your settings. And right here down in the center, you have your magnitude knob and your longitude knob. Now, the magnitude knob is going to allow you to really expand the sound of that reverb, and that's where you really can get super spacious with your reverb sound and open it up, get that stereo field really widened, and really get something really cool sounding out of your reverb. The longitude knob allows you to stretch that sound. Now, as far as the type of reverb effects in general, you can click on this little box right here above the clouds, and you have all of these different types of reverb. So you have a reverser reverb, a total recall reverb, a bright sky, Marvel dark. You have all these different types of reverb, and when you click on them, you can just mess around with the magnitude knob and the longitude knob to really dial in that reverb or expand that reverb to your liking. So even though things are really simplified on the UI design, the algorithm they have going on under the hood, the type of reverbs they used and set up for you to use are really cool sounding already. So you really only need the magnitude knob and the longitude knob to really take their settings to a whole nother level. So it's a really simplified reverb, but a very powerful reverb, and it can really get you some super spacious sounding sounds out of this thing. So that's what you have there. Down here at the bottom, you have this random button, and that speaks for itself. You just click on the randomizer and it's going to randomly send you through different types of reverbs and different settings within those types of reverbs. And you have your dry and wet knob. But that's it as far as this reverb goes. Very simple. Simple UI, but clean looking UI. Simple design. You have a bunch of presets and you have a bunch of reverbs. And with these two knobs, the longitude and the magnitude, you can dial that reverb in or expand it infinitely to get you a really creative sound. Now, I've been playing around with this thing and I love how it sounds. I really like how it sounds on pianos, very simple pianos. I like how it sounds on vocals, but I really feel like whatever they have going on under the hood of this thing, as far as how they set up the reverbs they set up, that I'm using inside of this thing, they did a really good job with that as far as the sound design department. So what I'm gonna do is just stop talking and we're gonna go through some of the presets, and then we're gonna go through some of the different types of reverbs so you can hear what's going on inside of this thing. So first we're gonna go through the different presets. Let's check these out really quickly. So these are the guitars without poly space on it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn Polyspace on and we're gonna go through some of the presets inside of Polyspace really quickly. I'm gonna just scroll through a bunch of different presets inside of Polyspace really quickly so that you can hear what some of the presets are inside of this thing. So let's check that out. And now really quickly, I want to stop it right here for a second. So this is one of the things that I actually really enjoy about this plugin is that the presets are super spacious and super out there. And that kind of stuff works really well when you automate the settings. So if you automate the dry and wet knob and whatever DAW that you're using, you can really get some interesting transitions inside of your sound and some interesting textures inside of your sound. So for example, you could take a very simple sound and just start introducing more wetness into the sound and it'll just sound crazy like this. So taking any one of these presets or any one of the settings that you come up with yourself and automating those settings via the dry and wet knob, you can get some really interesting things. But let's keep going through some more of the presets and checking this thing out. So it's not just super spacious reverbs they also have things like this one, Drum Room, which is a really simplified reverb. It gives you that sound like you're in a live drum room, but it sounds really good. So that's really cool. When you're purchasing this thing, you're not just getting a bunch of way out there sounding reverb effects that you can't use on everything. You have everything from super spacious reverbs to simplified real world scenarios like a drum room and a live room. And that's really, really cool. So now what I want to do is go through some of the different types of reverbs that they have inside of this thing that you can play around with and create some of your own presets. So we'll start here at Atmos and we'll go through that. That one is actually really cool. So I think I'm gonna use this reverb for the next part. So that was some of the presets, and that was some of the reverbs in itself. Obviously, there's a lot more, but you could check that stuff out yourself when you get the plugin. But what I want to do right now is I want to get right into the pickup. Now, what we're gonna do before I play the beat itself for you guys is I'm gonna apply this reverb to the guitar sound, and I'm gonna tweak it a little bit so you can see how things can kind of come together once you start using the plugin. And then I'll play the beat as a whole so you can hear how the guitars sit inside of the beat with this reverb and how everything comes together. So let's take a look at this guitar right here, and let's play around with this reverb to get the guitar to sound the way we want it to sound. I kind of like that. It gives it kind of like a bouncy chorus effect on the guitar a little bit. And now I'm going to just play with the dry and wet knob a little bit to get it to sit inside the guitar the way I want it to. Now let me play it along with this other instrument to see how it sounds. So this is the guitar without the reverb. And this is the guitar with the reverb. And I like it. So we're gonna take that, and now we're gonna play the beat as a whole and see how this thing sounds. So this is the beat I made using polyspace on the guitars of the beat. Let's check this thing out and see what it sounds like. And that's it. That's the beat I made using polyspace. Now, like I said, polyspace is a super simple reverb, super easy to use, but where this thing shines is in the algorithm going on underneath it and the types of reverbs that they have set up for you. They really program some really interesting, really cool sounding reverbs for you to take the longitude knob and the magnitude knob and really expand those settings to a whole nother level. So I really like how simple this thing is. I really like the randomizer, and I really like how so far every single one of the different types of reverbs I've used inside of this thing, when I compile that with automation, I'm able to get some really interesting and really cool textures to the sounds that I'm using it on. But let me know what you guys think. Is this something that you can see in your arsenal? Do you feel like you need another reverb in your arsenal? As always, if there's any plugins or VSTs that you want to see me review on this channel, leave it down in the comment section below and I'll get to it as soon as possible. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you can stay notified anytime I drop a new video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.